Hey, good morning. Hey, folks, Dave Lure here. It's Monday. It's time for Monday Motivation with Dave Lure. Welcome to, if you're visiting us on Elite Body Shop Solutions Facebook page, welcome. If you happen to be also watching us on our YouTube channel, welcome to you guys. Hey, listen, I know that today for some of you is probably one heck of a rough Monday. So I'm here to get you out of those Monday morning blues and to look forward to your week. I know that sounds like a pretty tall order, doesn't it? I also know that, many of you are coming off of what was probably a very long weekend with Thanksgiving. And anyway, I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. And I know we got Christmas coming up right around the corner. And it's a very happy time for many of us in our lives. A lot of things to be grateful for. It's great to have family around, things of that nature. But for those of you, and I know this firsthand, those of you running a business or managing a business, it can also be a very stressful time, right? So I don't mean to sound negative. Now, I know some of you are saying, but Dave, I thought you were like the positivity guy. Well, I am the positivity guy, but I'm here to tell you that I also, positivity has nothing to do with burying your head in the sand. Positivity is more how you look at the events and things in your life with a positive attitude or a negative attitude, right? And I know, I'm also can be very much of a realist. And I happen to know from my own experience that right now during the holidays can be a very difficult time for some people. And so if this is you, if you're trying to run a business, you're a little stressed out, you're a little overwhelmed with everything going on, you're not only trying to take care of yourself and your own family, but sometimes you've got a lot of employees that you're trying to take care of and vacations that you're trying to deal with. It can be a stressful time. It can be very overwhelming. Okay, so that's what my message is for you today. So today I'm going to talk about overwhelmed much. Well, I've got 10 habits that I'm going to share with you today that I think that are going to help you out a ton. Okay, so when I say 10 habits, that sounds like I'm trying to give you more work, doesn't it? That's really not my intention here, folks. My intention is by having you follow these 10 habits that you will actually reduce the amount of work that is required. I'm not trying to give you more work. I'm trying to take it away, man. I'm here to help you. You love me yet? Okay. So these are 10 habits that I've personally used in my life to buy back some of my time to help overcome what can be a very overwhelming time of the year around the holidays. Again, I love the holidays, but I also know that it can be very stressful. So I've had to make changes in my life to help me get through them successfully, because I want to be present for my family. I do want to be, when I'm at home, when I'm with family through the holidays, I want them to have me, right? Now, I don't mean that to sound egotistical. I want to be present with them. I don't want, Dave with Dave's minds at work. And I know you can relate to that. I want to be present with them in the moment to really enjoy the precious gifts that the holiday season can bring us. Okay. So here we go. We're going to start off with 10. And hopefully those of you watching this will write these things down, and I'm going to record this. It's going to also be over in our YouTube channel. And so you can go back and watch it as many times as you like. But I really think this is going to help you guys today. It's a little longer than my typical Motivation Monday, because I really want to bring you a ton of value this week and the rest of this year through the holiday season. Okay, so number one, first of all, I want you guys just to take a deep breath and remember that this probably isn't your first rodeo. You've been through this type of situation probably many, many times. And I want you to remind yourself that this too shall pass, right? you have the skills and the know-how to get through this difficult time. And just have a little bit of confidence in yourself that this year is going to be no different. You're going to figure this out, folks, because you're smart. And I have confidence in you. Okay. So number one is remind yourself, this too shall pass. All right. Number two. Now this one's gonna seem a little silly to some of you, but I'm serious. Clean your desk. Right. And what do I mean by that? It's about getting the things that we spend a lot of our time, get it organized. Because when you have an unorganized environment around you, I promise you, your mind is going to feel very unorganized. And that's really what this is all about. It's about organizing our mind, getting our projects in order. And for me, that always starts with just the simple activity of spending a few minutes to tidy my desk, you know, and get it organized. It just gives me a huge feeling of relief when I do that. Okay, so number three is write it out, right? I call this activity a brain dump, right? A brain dump. So if I've got a big project, and in fact, I do this whether I'm writing a book or whether I'm writing an article or putting some educational content or just trying to get my life in order, I will take just a notepad and start writing out, and just not in any type of organized fashion. I'm just doing a brain dump on paper. And that really helps me to get all the stuff that's up in my head. And some of you may do this yourselves. If you've got some stressful situations that are keeping you up at night, get up for a moment and write it out on paper. It really, really helps. All right, so number four, just start, right? So when you're facing a mountain of tasks, right, or a mountain of a project, you know, a lot of us have a tendency to, instead of getting to work, maybe we don't know where to start. I'm saying just start. Go after something, get a quick win or two, but just start on anything. It doesn't matter what. Get that momentum going, right? This will help you avoid distraction, because I know that I have a tendency, and a lot of people that I meet have a tendency, when they have too much on their plate, they're starting to get stressed out. What do? They go to social media, or they go out and smoke a cigarette, or whatever. They are easily drawn into a distraction. And that's the last thing that we want when we have all this work and all this pressure on us to perform. So just start. Take Nike's advice and just do it. Okay. All right. Here's number five. Focus on the important tasks, right? Take a minute when you're looking at a to-do list that's the length of your arm. Take a few minutes to go through and say, what would happen if I didn't do this task? What would happen? And what is most important? What are the things that, if I perform today, are actually going to be moving me towards a goal or something I really want in life, right? Because if it's not important to that, you know, you got to ask yourself, why are you doing this, right? A lot of things have the appearance of being important because they scream real loud. And just because things are screaming real loud at you, they're trying to draw your attention to it. That doesn't necessarily mean it's important. So that's an important distinction. Know the difference between what's important and what just appears to be important because it seems to be screaming at you. Okay. Number five is a very important one. Number six. I hope you guys are getting some, you know, I hope that some of this stuff is resonating with you. I promise if you do one or two of these or all of these, it can massively help you reduce this feeling of being overwhelmed. Okay, so I'm hoping this stuff is helping. Delegate or just eliminate it, right? So what I mentioned earlier is once you've identified what's important and maybe some of the things that just scream real loud, if it's important, but it doesn't require your skill set to accomplish it, delegate it to somebody. If you've got somebody on your team, right? If you don't have, somebody on your team that's capable of doing it, maybe you should hire somebody. I'm just saying. Anyway, delegate it or eliminate it. So if it's not important, why are we even having this discussion? Just eliminate it. You know, at the very least, you could put it off until next year. Write it on next year's to-do list. But don't worry about it right now. Get it off your plate. Okay. I got to hurry up here because I know that you guys are busy on Monday mornings. But number 7, say no. Okay. So what I'm talking about in this context is that quite often you have employees or other people that are putting their monkeys on your back. In other words, they're asking you to take responsibility for something they should have responsibility for. This is called monkey management. Read the 1 Minute Manager Meets the Monkey. It's a great book that'll really help put this in perspective. But you got to learn to say no. You've got to learn to say, hey, listen, there's a reason I hired you, and that's to perform this job. So if you're not going to be able to perform your job, why do I need you? Okay, so learn how to say no. Empower your people to do the jobs that they were hired to do. Okay. Number 8. We're almost through this, guys. There's only a couple more to go. All right, this one's really important. You got to take those big projects that just look like a mountain, because when we have such a huge project, like for me, it was like, writing a book, for example, that's a major project. And all of you have major projects that you're facing. And what we have a tendency to do is we keep putting it off and putting it off, right? And earlier, as I mentioned, just start. That's very important as well. But also you need to be able to break it down into tiny little pieces. So whether I'm writing an article or writing a book or creating educational content for you guys, I break it down into little components. I may spend only 30 minutes a day on this project, but it's continually moving me towards that. And before you know it, you're to the top of the mountain. So how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? So grab a foot, a trunk, or an ear and get to munching. Okay. Number 9, this has been a life changer for me. This has been a big game changer. So you all have an appointment calendar, right? And maybe you've got Outlook calendar, something like that. Go in, and when something is truly important that you spend some time on it, right? Let's face it, those projects that you've been putting off, these things that are becoming pressure driven because you've been putting it off for so long, and now all of a sudden you've got a huge deadline. You need to put time in your calendar, right? And then go into your office, close the door, tell the receptionist, I'm not taking any calls for the next hour, and you work on that project, right? But put it in your appointment calendar, just like it was somebody else that was coming, making an appointment with you. You go out and make an appointment with yourself and get that work done, okay? All right, now number 10. Listen, I want, those of you that are entrepreneurs or you're leading a team of people, I salute you. That is a major, major task. And a lot of high performers, a lot of you that are probably watching this are high performers. A lot of high performers have a tendency to be a little bit tough on themselves when things aren't going well, right? Or you're starting to get overwhelmed and not feeling it, man. So you just got to remember this. You guys are a bunch of badasses out there, and you just need to be kind to yourself. You've accomplished so much, and you've got so much more that you will accomplish, right? As I said earlier, this too shall pass. So, dude, give yourself a break. Put these 10 habits into practice, and relieve some of the overwhelmed feeling that you're having through the holidays. But mostly, just be kind to yourself. This too shall pass. All right. So follow these 10 habits here in about a week or two on our website, www.elitebodyshopsolutions.com. On our blog, we will actually be posting an article for this. And I hope this stuff helps. That's why I do this every Monday morning. I come to you because I want to see you guys live limitless lives and become limitless entrepreneurs. Thanks for watching this Monday. We will see you next Monday on Motivation Monday. Thanks for joining us.